Good afternoon, everybody. We Paddy from across the shop, and a bit of a random video today. I've just received another knife from Smoky Mountain Knife Works. It's the Queen variety, but I just wanted to talk about Smoky Mountain Knife Works as a brand. And the part of the brand that I'm more interested in is the slip joint side of it. Now, let's get it out of the way. They're made in China. So what? Doesn't really matter whatsoever. Not to me anyway. I'm quite happy to buy these because they're made at a really good standard for the price you're getting them. They're higher end ones I have my doubts on, but we'll talk about that a bit later. And I just wanted to show off why I think they're so good. This is one of the more early ones. This is the buckshot teardrop jack or bullet end jack, whichever way you want to call it. This is a single blade, lovely big fat spear, lovely lockup, really, really nice blade. There's a frost etch on it, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. I think it's quite attractive. Really nice shield on it, nicely put in. Fit and finish is absolutely fine. I mean, this is probably under £20 for this knife. Maybe a bit more over here, but somewhere around the £20 mark. And the price is not really important. I hate the big R bolster. I wish they would get rid of that and just put RR or whatever, on a nice sort of shield. I just think they should get rid of this or get rid of this and keep this, or vice versa. Put an RR up here and make it into a nice sort of a shield. I hate this. It's absolutely horrible. I don't know anybody that really likes it. Now, it doesn't bother me that much, but I just think a simple thing like that could improve the knife and make people want it more. Anyway, this is a lovely knife. The only thing that is the problem with Rough Riders, look at that. It's off center. Now, this one doesn't rub. You can see the etch is not broken at all there. It doesn't rub. So that doesn't bother me. For this sort of price, it doesn't bother me because the knife itself, when open, is completely solid. Just a great work knife. I really do recommend all of these knives on the table as work knives. What can we go? This is another variant that brought out this year. This is the Stockman, really well put together. Nice shield again on there, nothing on the bolster. And look at the difference. I think it just makes this knife look rich. Really good. Nice blades on it. I think there might be a wee bit of rubber, not on that blade. So you got your, is there any on that center blade? Not a thing. Like, this is amazing for a really cheap knife. There's nothing. I can't find a rub on this. Really beautiful. Look at the back spring. I mean, it's not ultra tight. Let me just get that. It's not ultra tight. You can see there is wee gaps, but they are literally just wee gaps. The knife is really well constructed. All three blades, good snap, perfect. And these are the sort of knives that I hope Rough Rider keep making, because these are the knives that bring people into the slip joint realm. Here's another one, a doctor's knife. Again, the centering is off now. This is not rubbing, but for all the price of this little knife, it's just a long, slim doctor's knife. This has actually got, I don't know whether I can get this to show. This has actually got, is it a Damascus blade or Damascus blade? It's very hard to show. My lighting is not great, but beautiful cinnamon stag, bone made to look like stag, but it's got that cinnamon touch to it. You can see the white there. It's beautiful. An absolutely gorgeous knife. The only thing it puts me that would deter from that looking really good is that stupid big R. But I just, I don't really like it. It's got the older shield on that there. Beautiful knife. Now, here's another one of their more early knives. Here is a Copperhead. Beautiful Copperhead. Really nicely made. Two good blades on this. Lovely big clip there. Look at that. Beautiful. That silly big R again. But these are beautiful knives. Look at the centering. It's off. I just can't believe they can get so many off. But again, it doesn't affect the functionality of a cheap knife. Now, and I'm saying cheap, that's not budget knife. Really budget knife. So then they started to step up again this year. I think this was a step up, making the micarta and making it a good blade. They stepped up again. I think it was last year, maybe even the year before, and they brought out this work knife, which is a copy of the, well, not a copy, but it's a looky-likey, shall we say, of the Viper knives that GEC make. Lovely three-ring bolster, none of that big R on it. It looks like a classy knife, black linen micarta, just classic, a classic work knife. Look at that blade. Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful swedge on it with a nail nick in the center of it. Don't know how I feel about that, but it's so well made that I can find no fault. It's a sway back. It's beautiful in the hand. Either way will do a day's work for anybody. 440C steel on all these so far, but look at that half stop. Beautiful. Look at the centering. Absolutely stunning. Now, I've seen some of these that had maybe a little bit off center, but this one and quite a few others that I've seen, the centering was better. It's got a lanyard hole. The fit and finish on this was exceptional. And then they brought a denim one out and it continued in that vein. Really good fit and finish, which was beautiful. This is Smoky Mountain Knife Works at its best. Doing these reasonably priced knives and making them really well. This one is an absolute gem. If they could keep that standard up and the blade centering up, you know, they could quite happily increase their prices if they could do that more often. Now, this year, they brought out the Rough Rider Reserve. This is the only one I've got off it because I wouldn't buy any of the other ones. They're too thick, too heavy, too bulky, and they're not what I believe people want. Now, I'm sure they'll sell thousands, but I don't think they're going to get a whole lot of repeat custom. Going on the reviews I've seen, an awful lot of people, you know, will buy a couple, but then they stop collecting them because they're just big, bulky out of the way. There's a bar knife, which is horrendous. I don't even know how that got into the drawing board. But I got this one, which is the one-hand opener. I've only just got this one. My mate Alan gave it to the channel, which was really, really lovely of him. This is in denim micarta. I love the shield. The only thing I would say about the shield, why didn't they just even turn this so that it lines up with the pin? That just to me looks unfinished. But that, again, that's just me. But there's the RRR sign. If they could do something like that on the bolsters and make it nice, I just think that would be so much nicer, that big R with a stripe and what looks like a T at the bottom of it, although it's not meant to be. Line bolster again, lanyard hole, absolutely beautifully done, brass. And look at the centering on that, absolutely perfect. Now, this came in at, I'm going to say, it was between 30 and 40 pound. This is the cheaper of the new Rough Rider Reserve. Comes in a lovely tube. Everything about it was first class. A little cloth to wipe down. First class. The other ones are all more expensive and they're wacky, they're heavy. For me, now this is just me, and I can only speak for me. This at 30 to 40 pound is a brilliant buy. I just like it. It's a big Eastern sort of knife. Same sort of size as the work knife, if you have that. So roughly the same size, maybe just a wee bit bigger. But it's a great knife, and I am really happy to have this in my collection. It's going nowhere. I love this knife. Now, recently, and I mean just recently, they brought out the proper Queen knives now. You know, Smoky Mountain took over Queen knives, and this is what I would have preferred as their higher end knives, not the Rough Rider Reserve. Well, if they can make Rough Rider Reserves at 30 to 40 pound and a good standard, and not these heavy, wacky knives, you know, even if they went down to single blades, it would make it better, because the other ones, their blade stock's too thick. Everything is thick in the back of them. I just don't get them. I don't know where they're going. I hope to stop that and bring a more sensible sized knife in thickness as in length. Just bring them down a bit and make them a good sensible size, a using knife. But they've done that with the Queen. They have brought out these Queen, and let me tell you, the bone, they call this just a saw cut bone. It's a amberish, it's got brown, amber, orange, wee bit of everything in it. Beautiful looking knife. I just think it is stunning. Two ring bolsters either end, and this is a twin blade. Absolutely beautiful. It's just a canoe. It's the typical canoe blades, but the fit and finish is really good. There's no rubbing in there. It is a stunning knife. Absolutely stunning. Again, around the £20 mark. But the fit and finish is above what these are. My only thing, and this is the bit that I sort of wanted this video for, look at that lovely crown, the queen crown there. It's just lovely and fitted in beautifully into the scale. Whoever's making these, I don't know whether it's the same company, there's rumours that it is, but I don't know whether it's a different factory. But I think this is a standard above. The fit and finish on this for that price is great. I would have preferred that they give Queen a bit more of an uplift, if I have to be honest. I think they should put a nod to Queen. I think they should be making, they're in China, put D2 in the blades to keep that Queen. Queen were known for putting D2 in their blades. I think they should put D2 in the blades, and if they could keep that fit and finish up, they could charge 30 or 40 pounds for a knife that's made with this fit and finish, and I would happily pay it. I'd happily pay up to £40 if that was D2 and the fit and finish was this good. Not a problem. And I think they should have took the stock of their Queen up a bit. They brought it in very budget. I don't know whether they intend to do it, but I'm just throwing this out there. They might even watch the video. You never know. I also got this one. Look, I just loved the Sawbone, so I wanted to get three because I don't have many of the old Queen knives. But just look at the fit and finish on that. I mean, that is marvellous fit and finish. And that is not a defect, it's just a bone. It's a dark part of the bone there. This is a stunningly, just so well put together. Now, this one's perfectly aligned. This one's not touching the side, but it's very much over to the left. But again, for a 30, 40 pound knife even, this is 20. But for a 30, 40, look at that beautiful blade with a swedge, a nail nick with a match strike pull. Is that not just beautiful? Again, completely solid. There's no wiggle at all. An amazing work knife in the hand. Just beautiful. And today I got my last of the three that I'll be buying in this. But I'm really happy. Look at this. Look at that. It's like a dog leg or a serpentine Warncliffe. Beautiful double ring bolsters. I just love those double ring bolsters. They make this knife look so expensive, but look at that saw cut. It is amazing. Amazing. Beautiful knife, beautiful Warncliffe. And I may say that is perfectly straight, which is not often the case on budget Warncliffes. That is a beautifully straight blade with that lovely nail nick, a slight swedge, but perfectly done. A point that would just, it's incredibly well sharpened. Look at all three of them were just sharpened so well. So whatever company they've got making these, I would say the only thing they need to do to elevate this knife to a 30 to 40 pound knife, which I would pay for all day long, is stick D2 in there. And it's a bit of a nod back to the old Queens. But I mean, I would pay £40 quite happily if that was D2. And I know steel doesn't mean a lot, but it would make this more of a Queen homage, if you like. And I just think these double ring bolsters are doing, keep doing that because it is stunning. But this one, again, look at the fit and finish on this knife. And this is 20 quid. Now, there's a slight gap along there, but it literally is slight. It's no effect on the knife whatsoever. The walk and talk in this is just beautiful. It really is beautiful. Lovely knife. This will be carried a lot. So there you go. What do you think of these knives? Have you any, what do you think of the new make, the Rough Rider Reserve? What do you think of the old work knife, the basic old Rough Riders? And I'm saying basic because, and I'm a Rough Rider lover. If you want to get into knife collecting, look at that array of knives you can get down there, and all for a reasonable price. I don't think you could get anywhere else for this standard of knife. I love them. These D2, please, and just keep that fit and finish going. Try to get the blade centered a bit more. But whoever's making these, I'm probably going to get shot in the foot. they're probably all the same company, but I don't think so. I think the fit and finish on these is even higher than these very good ones at the back and the side. These are made incredibly well. I just wish they would um, bring the prices way down. The new two they've brought out now are 70 and £80. Sorry, that's too dear by far. Too dear by far. And yes, you might sell ones for a while, but I don't think you get the longevity that you've got out of the Rough Riders. I just wouldn't do the make down. If you can keep it around the 40 and £50 with VG10 or whatever you want to do on these, I think this is VG10, is it? D2, China D2. So they do use China D2 in this company. Get them making the Queen knives, which I probably think they do. Put D2 in the Queen knives and sell them for 40 quid, along with something like this. But if you're going to do the micarta and you're going to use this branded badge for Rough Rider, I just think no more than 40 quid. No more than 40 quid. You could up the price of them, which would give you a bit of a take just by putting D2 on them and keeping that fit and finish up. My opinions, what's yours? Bit of a long video, but I just felt I wanted to talk about it because these, to me, are a fantastic way to get into slip joints. These three, well, all of these knives will stay in my collection because they're just blooming good. Whether it's 440A, D2, whatever. But I think the Queen could be elevated. They need to keep these ones and bring these ones up. Take care. Putties away. All the best. Bye-bye now.